They have been warned already by mail. I think that we have. Okay. What? Yes. So what I'm gonna. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Time is it?
You ready, Mr. Velez?
Yes, sir.
Call this meeting to order. It is 1:08 on Friday, the 13th. And the roll call, we've got everybody here except Tony Rodriguez.
Agenda
Do
items?
we have anybody to speak on the comment period?
No, sir.
Okay. First item under agenda items is approval of the minutes of November the 15th, 2024. We'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
There's a motion made to approve the minutes of November the 15th, 2024. Is there a second? Motion made, second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Next item is the 2025 calendar deadlines at HPC meetings, second Fridays at noon. And what's the other one? The second Wednesdays in the evenings. What is that? Are those options?
Yeah, because on the last meeting, board member Cardenas McNair asked for another alternative in the evenings to secure the attendance from the public. So after my discussions with the city secretary, they told me that we can keep it on the second Fridays at noon, or if it is in the evenings, the best day to do it, because there are other committees and so, are the second Wednesdays in the evenings. So I'm showing here the two schedules. This is for the Friday and this is for the Wednesday.
Yeah, thank you, Juan. But it doesn't suit everybody's schedule on the board, and I think attendance of the board is very important. I was concerned that noon is not a convenient time for people. And I don't know. Does anyone else have a time that they think might be more? I understand it's not good for board member. Do you think a morning meeting would do, like before you start? I mean, I don't know. I do feel like it's.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a concern for the time, but I mean, I can do mornings, evenings.
Well, evenings is not convenient for everybody, and we do need to have the board attend. But does anyone have an idea of what might be? I just feel it's hard. No.
We used to be. And I thought, that's fine. I could do that.
7 in the morning?
Very early in the morning.
Yes. And then you think,
Very early.
and that would give people time. And you think that would make it better for people?
I don't know.
I don't remember what kind of attendance we had by the general public when we met at 7.
Probably only.
Okay,
the people-
question, what is the time on Wednesday evening?
Well, we will start at 5 or 5:30,
Five.
as many other boats.
But that
Right.
doesn't work
That
because,
doesn't work with, yeah.
yeah. Well, I
The
mean,
what?
we have to have a board. But I'd like to make it better for people.
Regularly,
Okay,
but I think there are times to do it because we accommodate everybody.
Well, I like the idea of noon because everybody has to have lunch. You know, I mean,
but,
Can,
well, so far our meetings aren't over at 1.
can we look at a hybrid? Split it down the middle to give options to both?
Well, the problem is, I think a lot of people are, if they
Yeah.
can get their item on the agenda, they want their item on the agenda.
Yeah, and I mean, and you have to decide something, because otherwise I don't know, I don't know when to put the next meeting.
And given the fact that,
Well, can we just ask these people right here, what, if noon,
can we do what?
just ask them, is noon okay?
Sure. Okay. We're curious about the convenience of meeting at noon on the second Friday of each month. Is that convenient for you folks? Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. By raising your hand, you're saying yes? Yes, okay.
But better than maybe
5, like 5 or 5:30. You would prefer noon to 5:30 or 5? Yes? Okay,
Yeah.
well, I stand.
Noon?
corrected.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Well, let's just plan to stay with Friday, the second Friday at noon.
Keep it the same.
Yeah.
So then this is the schedule, so you have to vote to approve the meeting schedule.
Okay, somebody want to put it in the form of a motion?
I make a motion that we vote on the calendar
And
that we-
approve it.
and approve the calendar for Fridays at noon.
The second Friday at noon.
Second Friday at noon, yes, I stand corrected.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Next item, first item under public hearing, 14 Sam Pearl Boulevard, Dollar General. Mr. Velez.
Okay, this is the Dollar General. It was built on 2012, therefore it's not an historical significant building. You can see the location there. This is
won't
the
see it.
photograph that I took the other day. So what they want is to put solar panels on top of the roof, and the staff recommends to approve this proposal.
Okay?
There's someone online, just in case you want to open the public hearing, so they can speak if they want it.
Your recommendation is to approve, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, and
And they would not be visible anyway.
No, but they could speak through the online if they.
but they don't have a problem with your recommendation,
Oh,
right?
no, not at all.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Next item, 835 East Taylor Street.
Yeah.
Mr. Velez.
So this is a lot. Originally, there were frame houses there. This is the current condition of the lot. So what we are going to check is what are the houses, the contributing houses with medium or high preservation in the surrounding. This is the location, and you can see that there are some medium preservation in orange. So all those that remain, I took pictures of it so we can see the styles. This is minimal traditional. Another minimal traditional, more minimal traditional. One more. This is a Craftsman with the porch columns altered. This is a minimal traditional, a bungalow without style, no style here, and another Craftsman. So this is the site plan where you can see the facade to the left, okay, and on the back, the parkings. 20 feet setback. This is the floor plan, and this is the main elevation. Proposed, the rear elevation, and the sides. And this is a rendering of the feature build, the proposal of wood siding, alternative wood sidings, typically of 1940s, 1950s, and naturally they have the plank if they want it. Both button with the distance of 12 inches are the plank. The inches, examples of doors, how the fences have to be built to do not exceed 42 inches. Some others that currently exceed, but there are notes explaining what they have to meet the landscaping, and we recommend the approval of that house because it follows a minimum traditional and it's very suitable with the Buena Vida area, where there are, as you saw on the pictures, another 5 minimal traditional houses and 2 more that are craftsman. So maybe these two styles could be used in any case, so they opt for a minimal traditional style, and with the typical recommendations that we used to give regarding windows and etc., the doors, etc., the great roof, and so.
Okay, so your recommendation is to approve with the stipulations listed there.
Yes, sir.
Can you go back to the facade, the front facade, the side facade, and the floor plan on the lot? Okay, go, this one right here is where is this facing right now?
This is facing East Taylor Street.
It's facing
Yeah.
where?
East,
This facade is facing where?
East Taylor Street.
Taylor Street.
So it's facing the street.
Yeah.
It's facing.
It's a
the
duplex,
street.
yeah. It's a duplex with a classical protruded entrance gable, and that's fine.
Okay. Then go back, and this is one side?
This is one side. You can see the fence that is
Okay,
higher on the rear and so. And the rear, how it looked like the
this
future.
is the rear,
No, this is the facade.
this is the facade.
This is the rear.
So there's no access to the back, and then go to the floor plan? On the lot, yeah, right here. So,
The sidewalk, you can see at the sides, that 3 feet sidewalk on both sides.
uh-huh,
So when the tenants park in the parking lot off of the alley, and it's raining cats and dogs, they got to walk all the way around this duplex to get to the front door.
Yep. Because they haven't leave any kind of door on the rear.
so go back to the floor plan.
There's no site, no exit.
Yeah, so there's only, okay, go back, no, the floor plan, I want to see the floor plan. Okay,
So what, they are leaving a window for the master bedroom, but not at all there.
There is a door in the back
The only 2 doors are shown, are on the main
on
facade.
the front. I'm sorry, I was reading it wrong.
it's only the front porch,
Yeah.
so.
Okay, there's a recommendation by the staff to approve with the stipulations listed. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve
Is there a second?
with stipulations.
Second.
There's a motion made and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Those opposed?
We can't say anything about not having a door to the back. That's not in our.
Yeah.
Okay, I approve.
Okay, let me repeat then. All those in favor say aye.
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 And those opposed, motion passes. Mr. Velez?
Yep.
The next time you meet with designers of duplexes like this, try to encourage them to do something more than just a Xerox copy of things that have been done in the past. I find these designs to be very boring personally.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll do so.
Next item, number 3, 1027 East Madison Street.
Okay, this has been designed by the same designer. So we reached to this kind of solution after many discussions, at least two changes of design and so this was the Ituria rental, an Ituria rental house. But it was unfortunately demolished. It's simply because 2 blocks to the north, it was the Ituria lumber yard. And he got it from shots when he was killed. So again, this shows a kind of a triplex, frame triplex. So then the material has to be wood siding or Altiplank, just to follow the tradition. This is the empty lot. In this case, the contributing structures show a little bit more craftsman than any other. There are 2 craftsmen and 2 minimal. This is in front.
Now, what building is, on this picture, what is this building next to this house?
That's an apartment complex, and then to the right, you would see the Dancy building.
Yeah.
Okay? So on the left is the empty lot. This is Colunga House. It's pretty interesting.
This is apartments on the side of this building?
Yes. So we are going to see what do they want. It's also a duplex.
At least 5 feet apart.
This is another craftsman, severely altered. And this is a very similar, because it's the same designer and the same developer, and so it's a very similar one. Now, in this case, there are only doors, so they have done this a little bit with a little bit more rhythm, following a kind of craftsman style, and so including the doors. So they are going to put also wood siding. Probably this developer is someone different to the rest of the people, because he's going to build with wood siding, such as the other model that you have just approved. And in this case, this is the main facade, the rear without the doors, sides, and the rendering that is not very well drawn. So the recommendation here are these kind of sidings. They approved the double oval novelty, what is called here the California siding, the third one, second to the right. And these were details given to the designer, and we recommend to approve the design.
Okay, so the staff is recommending approval with the stipulations listed.
sir.
Is there a motion?
I make the motion for approval.
Is there a second? Motion made and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
A lot better.
Motion
This one is
passed.
better than the other one.
Yes, it's nicer.
Yeah,
And I
'cause-
really do wonder, is there not something odd that it doesn't have a back door? Is there
Yes.
no,
Well, once you suggest me all these kind of things, or you recommend me, I'll take it with them. The issue is that, for example, most of them, as you have noticed on the drawings, they do not even show a kind of a front gable. It's more like this modern to save wood and so, and well, I don't know if that is very good or not.
I just do think it's very odd not to have a back door.
Well,
Yeah.
have a door with a glass panel.
Maybe then the
To replace
interior
the window.
distribution, then the interior distribution should be different, you know?
You know, the sad commentary on the photographs you've shown of neighboring houses, some of those are more attractive than the duplex,
Yeah.
like that one right there.
Yeah,
With the exception of the apartment complex next to it.
But- And Juan, when you're talking to people and you, back to Calvin's comment about they all seem to be the same, this larger gable on the entrance
Yep,
is a lot more attractive than
It
that
is.
tiny one
yep.
that was stuck on the corner. So I think the larger gable, Juan, kind of is a better connection with the past than that little tiny entry gable.
You see this photograph here, you have weather protection for the front door and for the window.
You can see it.
Yeah, but on the first duplex we saw, the windows were exposed. There was no covering.
And you also have a place for family, for people to sit up front,
Yeah.
a historical front porch lifestyle.
Even the gable vent is $35.
Well, yeah, in most of the cases, it's simply because they want to save money on the,
Oh, yeah.
the wood, and so, because the other one that you said that it's not fancy or anything, it goes after the kind of minimal traditional. And the minimal traditional is always kind of a very, this is Craftsman, but a minimal traditional is very simplified. Let me check where can, This is a kind of minimal traditional, this is the typical minimal traditional. So there's a protected area to one of the sides, and then the entrance and some windows on the left, and there's a porch. So if you want to do a duplex, you just have to do simply copy, paste, and glue the symmetrical to this one. Well, I tell them to do so. There's no way. And also on top of that, instead of doing a cross gable house like this one, they want to save money on the roof, and then they go into this pitch roof that I think that it doesn't help at all, but because that's.
Okay. Item number 4, 1416 East Fillmore Street. A new
Okay.
store for the proposed car lot.
I thought they had to be on, state highway.
Yeah, I thought they had to be on state roads maintained by the state. I thought they had to be on International, Southmost, Central, Boca Chica, the Expressway, International. I thought car lots had to be on those streets. I didn't think they were allowed on city-maintained streets.
On the frontage road, I think.
Oh, is this the frontage road? Oh,
Yeah.
no, they're allowed on the frontage road.
This is the frontage. No, I think that you can do it also in traditional neighborhood corridor, but you need to change the zoning or something. I'm not very sure because I'm not in zoning, but I feel so. Well, in any case, this is on the back of the Family Dollar nearby Buena Vida. You can see there the point that shows the empty lot. The little
Frontage road, oh, no.
the little history, yeah. So there was nothing here, and that allows a kind of simplicity for the recommendations. This is the empty lot.
But it's not on the expressway.
No, it's not on the expressway. It's on the frontage road.
I mean, on the frontage road. It is on the frontage road?
Yes. This is taken from the frontage road.
Oh,
You can
okay.
see Dollar General on the back.
Yes, that's fine, okay.
Used to be,
So because the
But
lot.
we're calling it Fillmore if it's on the frontage road.
No, but this is frontage road. This is not Fillmore.
Yeah.
Oh, Fillmore. Yeah, because I don't know, maybe it has the address of Fillmore, but the entry is through frontage. Okay, so as I showed, the lot was not developed on 1957, so that grants a little bit more of freedom. The contributing buildings that are with a similar use on the surrounding are that is the gas station. All that enclosing is artificial with the Mission Revival Ridge line. The real gas station was in the back. And then those columns are simply the drive-through. And this is the other one, built on 1938, that follows also Border Brick Building, is stucco and so. So we were discussing with the designer and with the owner kind of styles, some similar styles in which you can build with stucco, because the owner wanted to build with concrete block and stucco exterior of it. So this is the proposal of the car lot. You have a huge entry, then the perpendicular to it, the parking spaces, and at the end, the little story. And this is the floor plan of that one-story building. And this is the main elevation proposed. So you have a little glass block, just like if it was a 1930s, 1940s building, the door and two windows on the rear. You can see here the side, the other side. These are, instead of this door, maybe they can give a little bit more, sorry, this one, they can give a little bit more of a character if you use a kind of Art Deco door as these ones. You can see here in the center one, that's a typical way to frame a door on the 30s, following the Art Deco. Sometimes it has two kind of side lights or windows to both sides of the door. These are more Spanish eclectic doors. Again, we speak about the fences, that in this case, because it's a non-residential fence, let me see, where is it? If it is a non-residential fence, I think that I didn't put it here, but you have to build with masonry or aluminum, I mean, wrought iron or aluminum. You cannot build the front fence with wood. Why? Because kind of safety, and so those are the rules. So the staff recommendation are these ones, that to approve the project, showing the porch columns stylized, single aluminum windows would be, the ideal would be that those aluminum windows are near to the door, the main door. The doors would be interesting to have a kind of article design. Maybe the Spanish eclectic is a little bit more rough here. And the fence, as I said, commercial properties cannot have wooden fences. Therefore, an iron fence or aluminum fence it can have these 6 feet, but it has to be 75 of transparency. It cannot be a wall. You have to leave certain distance between the bars of the fence, and you can build on top of several courses of brick, dark gray roof, and well, the owner has to comply with the rest of IBC IRC.
Okay, so the staff recommendation is to approve. Is there a motion?
There's someone here in the public, is the designer. I don't know if she wants to speak.
Is there someone here representing the owner that would like to speak?
Can you please?
I can't hear you. Identify yourself, please.
The designer, Brenda Velasquez.
Okay? And do you approve the recommendations of the staff?
Yes, sure, absolutely.
Okay, is there a motion to close public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion made and second to close public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is the motion made and second? Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion passes. Next item, number 5, 115 East 11th Street.
We
New
take,
triplex.
yeah, you tabled the item, I think that 2 HPCs ago. So there's the empty lot over there. You can see certain kind of contributing structures in the surrounding area. It shows that it was a kind of a frame building on the bottom area to the right. You would see a frame building on the back and a kind of iron or metal skin building on the front facing East 11th Street. So this is the empty lot. What I'm showing is some medium preservation priority rankings and the style. This is a national, usually is minimal traditional. You have a shotgun here. You have more minimal traditional houses here. This is a Craftsman house. And this is a Quonset. So, and this is the one that is to the left of the empty lot. Another one is this hotel that, well, is Spanish colonial, is not Craftsman. So if you remember on the last meeting, the property owner wanted to address the main facades to the alley. And this was the front elevation. You can see on the right, the porch facing one after the other to the alley. Then the other option was, when I discussed with them, try to figure it out how the entries could be facing the 11th Street. So that was the result of having the entries facing the 11th Street. But it was agreed that maybe the best design would be, okay, at least have one entry door facing 11th Street and the others facing the alley. So this is the floor plan that they have submitted for approval. You have the entry unit on the left, and then the two other to the alley on the back. So this is the entrance of the main elevation and the rear elevation and the sides with the other two entries. Okay? Okay, so this is the 11th Street main facade.
I'm still very concerned about those alley entrances.
Okay, we will speak, you will speak about that. So, and these are the entrances to the alley. And this is the left elevation to the neighborhood. So I'm putting here as a setting district that the infill has to be mutually kind of in agreement with what we have the surrounding. And I'm putting here the, the small apartment building or flex building, because this is downtown core. And it allows, let us say that the most convenient for the developer is to develop the potential development on their small apartment building or flex use building type, okay? So this can be anything. I mean, you can build a small apartment building in order that you can understand what it's about. The historic district settle the kind of district in which you are. You are here in downtown core, so you are allowed to have a huge density. Indeed, three stories. Similar to, for example, the one to the left was 2 stories. The Quonset is also pretty high, and so. So in this case, in downtown core, any owner can develop a lot of density and need to leave the rear for parking. That's the benefit of this kind of area. And it was marked like that in order to have more density, to create the big densities, but in a compressed area of 40 feet depth. So you have still a remaining of 80 feet on the back for parking, you know? So you would kind of develop, if the lot was facing to a named street, you would have 50 by 40, 2,000 square feet. And then the other 80 feet, you would have to adequate the space for parking units for those 2,000 by 3, 6,000 square feet that you could build on the total building. So that refers and speaks to you about the setbacks and so the historic districts. So in this case, the downtown core, the best option to do, because that's what they wanted, is, okay, the only way to go to the alley, I mean, the only way to go to strictly to the alley setback and so is if I use a small apartment building or flex use building. So these are the 2 best options for that. You can see there the front porch, the gallery, the forecourt, the roof types and so, and this is what it triggers the kind of type that you can build. Supposedly in both cases, you can develop this development. But really the area was created not to do this, but to compress the building in 3 heights so you can leave the back perfectly for a parking. So that's the reason why on top of the issues that we saw the last time, half entries to the alley not only impacts on the alley itself, but it's not exactly what the original historic district was trying to do in these kind of places. Naturally, the developer can do whatever he wants and so, but it's not the best use for the land to develop instead of in height, only in one floor. I explained that on the last meeting as well. This is to create huge density. In any case, once I explain this, these are the recommendations for the wood. The owner has tell us that he wants to do board and batten. I'm insisting to have, okay, the batten has to be every single 12 inches and so. These kind of craftsman doors are suggested. The fence, on the last meeting, you recommend to really build a fence on top of some brick courses to avoid the, unrestricted parking, not in 11th Street that you cannot, but on the alley and so. Landscaping regulations. So the recommendation here would be to approve, but as you can see here on the building types, you need to have a 25% of fenestration to the primary street. That's in the second column, the second line. Facade elements, primary.
Where you're reading that on this page?
Sorry?
Where you're talking about the fenestration, where is that on this page that we're looking at?
You have the facade elements, the second column.
Facade elements.
Facade elements, and then you see PF, primary street facade, minimum, maximum fenestration, the 25% minimum. And that is aligned with what Board Member Bayi was saying on the last meeting, that he would like to see a kind of, what the heck, sorry, a kind of design incorporating more windows to the left. That's what I remember from that meeting. So you discussed this kind of design, okay, one entry, and it was needed more on the left area. So I doubt that these fenestrations right now reach to the 25% that is required by the ordinance, and that's form-based code. You have to do it or you don't do anything. So it is required more windows here. Apart is the famous entry doors to the alley, and so that it's not exactly the best use, but in any case, what we are recommending is simply to get this 25% of fenestration.
Okay, so go back
Fence
to
has
the
to be-
front, go back to the layout, please.
Which one is the owner proposed?
This
which
one.
of these are?
This one is the last, yeah, this one is the last design. You can see the entry door center to the left, the window on the bottom left. And probably there's more space for family room or another window or something, just to comply with the form-based code.
Okay, so
So
let
the-
me understand that there is a possibility of putting another window in the family room. Is that correct?
I don't know, I'm only saying that the form-based code says that you have to have 25% of penetration to the main street and 15% to the side. You know, in this case, the side could be considered as the alley.
We don't have it on either side.
Well, there are windows on the other side as well. This is the side facing the alley, this is the other side. You have plenty of windows there.
Okay, and then go back to the layout, back. Okay, now, where are we talking about what the fence on the alley?
Bottom.
Where are we talking on that?
Yeah, it should be here, the 11th Street is to the right. Should be, I mean, in order to avoid parking on East 11th Street, the recommendation should be to build a 42 inches fence on that lot line on East 11th Street.
Okay, in this drawing, which is top alley or bottom alley? Top is alley.
Top is alley.
Top is alley, yeah.
And so where are we saying the fence will be?
The 42 inches must run from on the main facade until reaching the main facade as well on the alley. And then from there, they can build the 6 feet inches. And so 6 feet.
Up to which point can they build 60 inch?
After reaching the main facade facing 11th Street.
Okay, explain. Let's start from 11th Street back to the back of the building. Where does the fence start?
Okay, the fence could start on the bottom right part where it says 5 wide arrow W sidewalk. Just at the corner where it's the arrow showing north. In that corner, the fence should have to start and then reach the upper corner to the right. And then that 42 inches should have to.
But there's an opening for the doors.
Yeah, well, yeah.
There's
Doors.
opening for the doors, but the fence being a historically accurate fence will be along the alley?
Well, what I'm suggesting is to build the fence with 3 or 4 brick courses, because in that way, the cars cannot park inside by simply destroying the fence.
Breaking the
So-
fence, yeah.
So then you have that fence that is interrupted on the entry area of the main facade, and then it turns to the left on the upper right corner, reaching at least the facade of the main building. You know,
Okay,
and from there you can go up to 6 feet.
Okay,
Again, with, the ideal would be with kind of rough iron, so you can see what is behind, and at the same time, you protect the building, and you interrupt on the other entrances.
Is there anyone here to speak on behalf of this? Would you step forward, please, and identify yourself?
I am Genaro Mercado, I'm the owner of the.
Okay. Would you be receptive to enlarging the entrances? Because right now,
Oh, there.
the roof dominates your building. And if you were to make the entrance canopies larger or wider, I think it would diminish the impact of this large roof. Would you be willing to consider that?
I mean, you'd be giving the tenants somewhere to come outside and sit down. They wanted to smoke or something, because they're not allowed to, they're not allowed to smoke on the inside of it.
Just make that gable, small gable in just a little bit bigger.
Make it like a porch.
Yeah. So it even covered that window, maybe it was the door in the window.
Reduce the size of the window.
I'm kind of curious, the previous meeting that we came to, it seemed like the arguments were based on where it was gonna face and having that fence for parking reasons. We've already kind of made the plan, submitted everything and had to overgo all those costs to make all those changes as it is. Is there any way we can leave it as is?
Sorry, what costs did you incur to make the changes?
So we had to go back with the architect and he had to redraw the plans to make sure we can make the changes accordingly. I went based on the drawing that you had made me the previous time. I gave him that drawing and he basically brought it up. Because I had to redo everything and send them out to engineers, I paid for an entirely brand new set of plans. I'm over $5,000 in, from making the changes. And if I go back again, I mean, I understand, I'm trying to, comply with everything.
They charged you $5,000 to make those changes?
Aside from the plans itself, sending it back to engineers and everything, I'm $5,000.
For the changes? I'm just so I know not to hire somebody that charged $5,000 for that. Who was it?
Both plans and with the engineer costs as well to approve all the new plans, because everything has to get sent out to the state.
Why was the engineer involved?
Well, because it's all new structural plans. We changed literally everything, so that to make sure that they approved all the new structures, which all those state documents, everything has been submitted for permits as well. Now, I mean, it's something that wasn't discussed before. I feel like it would have been proactive with it. It's something I could have done prior. But, the stuff that was addressed last time, we did make sure we complied 100% with what was asked of us and what Mr. Velez has asked of us as well. And
You mentioned architect. Did an architect do these drawings?
yeah, we had to go back with our,
What's his name?
Mr. Campos, David Campos.
Campos?
Yes.
He's an architect?
It's an architect or a designer.
The design.
Director
of the TSTC.
Design.
Okay, I've never heard of him.
He's
And
a
the
designer.
engineer? Who's the engineer?
We went with Montemayor.
Okay, any other questions for the gentleman? If not, I'll entertain a motion to close public hearing.
Make a motion to close public hearing.
Motion made, is there a second?
Second.
Motion made, a second to close public hearing. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Okay, is there a motion? Is there a motion? The staff is recommending approval. Is there a motion? Okay, is there a motion to table?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion made to table this item. Is there any further discussion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Next item, Palm Boulevard.
Okay, this is a replacement sign. The other one was destroyed by an accident. You can see the previous one and the preparation of where the current one will be. And I'm going to leave to the chair
Now,
of
I have a
the,
question. Is the sign moving to another?
no, the sign is going to be located in the same place. It's simply a replacement that the beautification, the Brownsville Beautification Committee is suggesting. So I think that here is Javier that is going to speak and do the presentation.
Chavez, and I'm here on behalf of the Brownsville Beautification Committee. I'm also a Los Ebanos resident. And we have a couple of proposals we wanted to present to you. Mr. Velez, you want to go? So originally, many ideas came from the Los Ebanos neighborhood for the replacement sign after it had been destroyed twice in a couple of years, short amount of time. Those ideas were presented to the BBC in September of 2024. BBC recommended to support the rehab of the original sign. It was a BBC project when it was created. Some ideas were to have a contest for the sign, securing an expert, of course, for the design and installation of the new sign. And the next steps that we were told were to bring it to the Historic Commission. So that's where we're at for guidance at this point. So first, we have a request for guidance on the replacement of the sign at Boca Chica. We have a request for guidance for a Texas historic marker and signage on the remnants of the old Los Ebanos sign that's located on East Ringgold Street. And then third, the neighborhood wanted to bring the possibility of district signage. And so when we focus on the Palm Boulevard and Boca Chica project, this sign was designed and installed by SSP Designs with BBC funding. Landscape was included, and as mentioned, the sign has been destroyed at least twice in the past couple of years. The current state of the sign, as you can see, that cone, I think, is still there. You can see the curb is very low. There's no, I'm so sorry, there's no uplighting. So at night, it's very hard to see that sign. So I can see for some people, it's easy. So one of the requests of the Historic Preservation Committee is, one, must this sign be replaced with the exact same design? If not, are there guidelines for how this replacement sign must look? And three, what are other funding sources that could help support this project? Included here are some suggestions that were brought by the neighborhood. In the top right corner, you can see a sign that kind of is curved, so it would wrap around the island a little bit. In the bottom left, you see signage previously done by the Parks Department. That's like a, what is it, cutout iron. And then the second one shows that uplighting that would be necessary so that people could really see the sign, which I think regardless of what we do, we should probably do that. And then the last one there, someone requested that we consider the possibility of a gateway. I think there used to be a gateway at East Ringgold Street. The gateway is suggested for Boca Chica, but
Yeah, but that,
can we go back?
That gateway doesn't seem to fit the period.
no, it doesn't.
No, definitely not. I think this must be an AI rendering that they just sent as a possibility for
No,
ideas.
and go back to the original one. Another slide. No, the original, the one with the one
Oh,
with the historic.
that's a different request because it's at a different corner. So this one is the specifically Boca Chica at Palm
Okay,
Boulevard.
so, are we, okay, well, we thought the sign was nice. We liked it, but the neighborhood didn't like it, didn't want it to be replaced?
Well, that's the guidance we're requesting from you. Is it required to replace the sign as is, or can it be revamped in some way? And if it
I
can
wouldn't,
be revamped.
I would replace the cast stone. I wouldn't do the cast stone. Having fixed the sign once, and I'm sure the thank you from the city is coming any day now.
I thank you.
The cast stone is impossible to, only one person does it in the valley. It's very expensive. They're gonna hit it again. I wouldn't do cast stone because I can't fix it. I have to go to somebody else. If it was brick or something else that we can
But
get
you could
locally.
probably use the coping that they
Yeah.
have, The red.
Or even if it's
the red
square.
Clay coping that you have for
Yeah.
pools.
Now, that is still more expensive than just regular brick. If it can be just square brick, we can, the historic brick, that's easy to get, easy to replace. The saltillo is easy to replace. It'd be much easier to maintain. I think we're gonna have to add some, instead of pipe bollards, which look ugly, put some big stones in the front of it to protect it. I mean, it's been hit 3 times and.
At
since I've
least,
lived on it.
I would also elevate it, make it less of a target.
I think they'll still hit the structure underneath. I think it needs some stones instead of pipe bollards, some big stones that look part of the landscaping. Somebody jumps that curb, they hit the stone.
Are we going to include landscaping again?
We haven't discussed that. We've only discussed the sign. But we are in the process of discussing rehabbing BBC projects, so it's a possibility.
Yes, this is the one I wanted to see. Okay,
Yep.
so you don't want to discuss this right now. You just
Well,
want.
we do. I just didn't want to confuse the two because
Okay.
they're two different.
Okay,
things.
well,
Yeah.
They should, well, if you're looking great, that you're looking at doing something with it,
Yeah.
they should match.
They should match. So if we want to get
Or
into it,
prefer
Mr.
to.
Velez, we can go to the next one just so y'all
So
see.
would you
the-
want to do rock on the bottom?
Yeah, that's fine.
Rock it?
Yeah.
Match the rock.
Go back to the original, to the one we're discussing. So, okay, so let's look, okay, no, this one. So I don't think I want it any bigger. I don't want it any bigger.
You're just giving them more, wrapping around, I think you're giving more of a target.
You think the curving is more of a target?
Yeah.
Okay.
The bigger, I think,
And also for visibility's sake, being able to look over the sign is
Yeah.
important when you're seeing traffic. So I wouldn't want it any taller. I would not, but I don't mind the idea of, instead of Saltillo Tile, rocking that. So it ties in a little bit. I don't know what you do at the top. What do you?
Elevating it still wouldn't really block because you have traffic going in 2 different directions and that island does provide separation for head-on prevention. But I can tell you on these low signs, I have driven on Palm Boulevard on wet days. And the way some of our fellow citizens drive, I've had a few situations where I've had to brake and kind of skid it and make it easy. I'm kind of partial to Gateway because I travel around Texas and I see a lot of the historic places have the gateway and it makes it more welcoming. And it also kind of makes you look up, get a big view of the picture.
Can we go back to the gateway? Because it's a little bit deceiving. Okay, because actually the edge of the road now is way back to the side.
much
Because
wider.
this little remaining one is actually next to the pedestrian pass-through. So the gateway now would be enormous.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
That would be
oh, yeah, no.
right in the entrance
Yeah.
from Boca Chica.
There's not room to build it.
No.
Yeah.
And this is at East Ringgold Street. This is not at Boca Chica.
Right.
Yeah.
But what Larry Loff is saying is this remaining piece is the extreme right hand.
Yes, it is.
And so and on the other side, there's
Nothing.
no room to recreate this.
I just don't think you can put a gateway.
Via Marquis, the apartments.
Well,
Yeah, and there's no room for this.
there's no room to put a gateway on Ringgold, but what if they match this gateway on the other side? There's an island in the middle where they can support the middle of it.
You mean on,
And just put
Here's
the
the-
sign,
Yeah, you're,
just put the sign over one lane?
no, put the gateway going over, coming from where the small sign is now. What if
From Boca
they,
Chica?
yeah, coming from Boca Chica, what if they move this gateway entrance to the opposite side? There's
Okay,
an island in the middle that they could use for support.
and just use this, the design.
The
features
design,
of this.
the design
Because you
features for
can't do it
this, but,
exactly, there'd be a center,
correct.
there'd be a.
No, there's no room to make.
You could add a center support.
well,
you know?
just how much are you intending
Next
to
time it's-
spend?
That's,
It's
yeah.
a little high.
I mean, we're talking
not-
So it's gonna be that issue.
Yeah.
big bucks.
Yeah.
Just the support, the iron support that you would need.
Would be a target.
Do you happen to know?
Do y'all have a budget?
Who destroyed the signs and was it intoxicated drivers?
We don't, as the beautification committee, we don't have that information.
Okay. just for historical purposes,
Yeah.
I paid personally for the first sign back when Larry Brown was the planning director.
Mhm.
So that's been 15 or 20 years, I would suppose.
Mhm.
So the comment that the sign has been destroyed twice is probably wrong. It's probably been destroyed 3 or 4 times over its life.
Yeah.
Personally, I would rather see that sign elevated, not to the point where it bothers you, Reba, but elevated and have some giant boulders in front that would destroy any vehicle that tried to knock the sign over.
At least a good 3 feet up, 3 feet,
Yeah.
boulders at 3
Yeah.
feet, just keep it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just literally destroy some vehicle. If a guy is intoxicated, make sure he doesn't have another car.
Yep. A question,
Luckily, these weren't fatalities, so I think that's something that
question.
traffic has
do
to
y'all have,
consider as well.
do y'all have a budget? Or,
So that's something that we have to discuss based on your recommendations.
okay.
Well, I mean,
So this,
I am worried about the traffic implications of raising it. I am worried about that. I think it's smart. But I don't know if it's allowed to put the big, because I think there was like I thought it was here that it was like the bollards, they wanted it to be able to knock down. Wasn't that part of this discussion? They didn't want it to be like for they're going to be playing for someone dying.
Okay, look at the bollards there at your home.
Yeah.
You know, something like that, that would avoid the sign being destroyed and would just.
Well, no, I'm fine with rocks. I mean, I'm fine with it. I don't know if the insurance agent for the city is, but for me, I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea, but I mean, and so that, you know, I live on the corner of Old Alice and Sunset, and we did that because of the curve. People, jump that curb, and we didn't want our fence knocked down every time they jumped the curb, so that's why we did that.
On the issue of traffic, et cetera, I kind of going along with what Fernando said, and maybe making replacement factor cheaper, understanding that we're going to have to deal with this. But the plan that was there, I think is okay, just make it simpler. Because they probably don't want to put great big bollards that would destroy it under many of the cars.
Can we landscape that island but elevate it with dirt? Make it, and then just put grass, make a note, at least won't hit the sign, will hit the dirt. I think that will.
I think they were open to put bollards the last time.
Were they?
They fixed it, it's just they didn't want to pay for it. I paid for the sign, but I was gonna have to buy it.
You know, the bollards, simple bollards painted are not gonna be just really draw your attention away from the sign, I don't think.
Yeah.
So I think either rocks or bollards are fine.
I'm fine with rocks. I'm fine with rocks. I'm fine with elevating it as long as traffic engineer is fine with it.
Be nice.
I mean, an affordable alternative would be just use earth, just to increase it, just to reduce it being a target.
Okay.
Or the ability of it being destroyed again. I think Galvin has been, 3 signs already destroyed?
Yeah,
No, you think it's 4.
yeah, maybe. And the other thing is, when you go back to the original sign here, I don't know if those letters are aluminum or, applied, but you can paint those letters on that wall. And you don't have to worry about the cost of replacing the letters, you just repaint. I know, across from Stell Middle School, I had a doctor's office there. We had all these little bitty letters of the doctor's names and everything. And the kids, I guess during lunch or after school, would go over there and knock those letters off. And the doctors were upset because they had to reorder those letters. And finally I said, you know what? Why don't you just paint the letters? And that avoided all the vandalism from the students. So I would say the same thing here. Don't spend money on letters for the sign. Paint it. Personally, I like the design of this. I just think it ought to be elevated somewhat so you can have some pretty large boulders underneath
Okay.
or in front.
So on the, sorry, Mr. Velez, if you go back to the suggestions real quick, that second suggestion, suggestions with the examples, that second one is,
Where?
go back one more.
Go back, sorry.
Right there. That one has embossed lettering with paints, with paint, gold embossing, that, like you mentioned. So that is something that I think could be a possibility. I think the most important thing really is the uplighting. I think it'll avoid a lot of accidents. So that's something that if y'all are okay with it, we'd like to make sure is installed. And then in terms of this sign, I can gather all of your comments. I'll talk with Mr. Velez and we'll go to the designer to make sure that we come back with an appropriate design that,
I like the idea of uplighting the sign so it's visible at night.
Mhm.
I don't think you would avoid collisions.
No,
because
I
of the
don't
sign.
either.
No.
I don't either.
As long
I
as
like
you
the
can see
idea
it.
of it being lit.
I will tell you what has been done on O'Donnell's Road to prevent people hitting our fence. There are I don't know what they're called.
rumble strips.
Those bubbles, before, so that you know you're coming.
Rumble strips?
Bubble strips. There is a flashing light to go 10 miles an hour. There's a sign 10 miles an hour. There's an arrow. People go straight. So, I mean, you do what you can, and we do,
Mhm.
but they still hit the fence. Well, they still hit the bollard.
Any other questions?
Just the embossing though does look really nice, but if it ever gets damaged, we're not gonna be able to replace it. We're
What,
gonna have to get a whole new sign. The engraved lettering,
The embossing with the paint.
yeah, if it's embossed and a crack goes through half of it, we're not gonna be able to replace half the sign. We're gonna have to get a whole new sign. So I love it. The embossing looks much nicer than painting or anything, but we know it's gonna get hit again.
Okay, any other questions?
So
no,
for,
so now you want to go
So
to the
yeah,
bingo?
moving on to
Oh.
the second sign. So, as you know, this is located at Palm and East Ringgold Street. And, nobody knows what it is except for people who know that this original gateway sign existed. So we are hoping to do something like a historic marker and maybe place a Los Ebanos neighborhood sign on top of it because there's clearly a platform. So these are just some ideas. And we just wanted to get your guidance on that so we could come back with a design that is based on your recommendations.
that should be that's what is called a subject marker. A subject marker. Okay. So you tell the story of this sign and so, and what is remaining, that is, as Commissioner Cardenas Manuel said, is the extreme right of this whole sign. And then you tell the history and you request it.
It's very nice, and the old St. Joe Academy fence got a
Yeah, that's right.
site marker
Oh,
Go
they
back
did?
one slide.
by IBC Bank on Elizabeth. At the back, they got a site marker.
Great. So then we can move forward with that and come back.
Yes, I don't know, but I don't know that they'll let you put a sign on top. You can put the historic marker on it, but I think it would be nice to say something Los Ebanos because we have Palm Boulevard, but we don't have anything announcing Los Ebanos neighborhood. But I don't know, what is your opinion, Juan, I don't know that they would allow us to put a sign on top that says Los Ebanos neighborhood.
Your subject marker would be.
Well, my recommendation here, first of all, was a monument sign, whatever it takes, whatever are the letters or whatever, that's not my call. I don't know if it is a very good idea to have on top. I mean, it's not going to change to have a monument sign there in which the people that are totally drunk will hit at it, or a post holding another sign that it's a little bit more at a bigger height, if that is your question.
No, I'm just saying, because there was no light on that. Let's look at the sign again. There was no,
And the-
go back.
And the light, yeah, you can put it, no, you can put it on,
No, on the old historic sign, there was no lighting on it.
no, but you can put it on, you can put on the lower area, or maybe you can simply request a protection, like on the highways surrounding a little bit the lower area, with this metal and so, and then if you are going to raise the historic Palm Boulevard,
No,
that you can see
She's
that
referring to the other.
still, and you protect at the same time, so the cars will hit that protection instead of the sign. And then behind the metal protection, you put the light. From
you
the,
put the.
you put the light from the exterior.
Oh, no. Okay, you're talking about this sign.
Yes.
I am talking about the original rock sign of Los Ebanos neighborhood.
The east
Ah.
wing.
Whether they would
Yeah.
allow a sign on top of this that would say Los Ebanos neighborhood.
I don't know if that is a very good idea, because on top of that structure was the roof, as you can see, so
Yeah.
I
don't
think that
think they
is,
would. But at least we would have a Los Ebanos marker marking this. And, if we got really kind of a little fancy, I think they could even kind of engrave what the original looked like on the marker. They could make the engraving of what it was.
That'd be great.
Okay, are there any other questions?
Well, thank you so much for taking this on. I'm really thankful to you for doing that. That's wonderful.
There's actually one last question we had for you on this district signage. I just wanted to come back to the neighborhood because I had questions about it. Is the city of Brownsville or Historic Preservation Committee thinking about district signage? And
No,
so,
the district signage in Los Ebanos neighborhood is those concrete posts.
yes,
yeah,
that's right.
That's the original street signs.
okay.
And I think we still have 3 left.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, you-
Um,
Are y'all looking kind of something similar to what they did with the Mite District,
Midi
District?
I think that those should have to be pointed out with lights and so everybody can at least ask to oneself, what is this? And then with that, you are educated that those were the original signs to show the streets and so.
But I think this would be the traffic department, no? These signs,
Well,
these kind of signs.
The original signs aren't practical anymore because if you park in front of them, you have no way of seeing what street you're on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they are nice. They are really nice.
no, but
Not-
those are historic pieces that supposedly have to be protected.
Well, it's nice, but like they lean. I mean, we're lucky we
But
still
these-
have 3 of them.
But these would replace the current street signs.
Exactly. Yeah. This would be a designation of like you are in Los Ebanos Historic District or whatever the case is.
Yeah, such as the media
As opposed to the
has
normal street signs that exist now.
Yeah,
Okay, do you have anything else to present to the council?
No, that's it.
I love the idea. Maybe
Yeah.
present it.
yeah, this is, like I said, this is probably the city commission and traffic, but yeah, I would totally support something like that.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Is there a motion to close public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Next item, 1044 East Taylor Street. Mr. Velez.
So this is the site of Alvarez, and there's an empty lot currently, but originally there was as always framed. This is the empty lot. So the contributing structures are this minimal traditional house. No style. These are also no style, similar to shotguns and so. And this is a modern one and built with brick. One that is more non-style and another minimal traditional, a craftsman. And then other non-contributing, so you can understand what happened in this area. There are 2 kind of brick buildings like this. Okay? Now, the proposal is to build this. Originally, it was brick. As you know, I'm always trying to be on top of the building materials regarding what it was built. So if it is wood, it would be wood siding or hardy plank siding, not necessarily a brick. From my point of view, I mean, it's a good design, but maybe those windows and so are too tough. It remains a kind of gas station of the mid-century. And on top of that, the condition of the historic district, of the district says, oh, I didn't put it. Okay, it says that in this case, Here. Okay, this is what it takes. This, you can see that the roof types, the right, the fourth line on the right, roof types, says hip, gable, reverse gable, parapet, or if it is parapet, it is only mission style. So I think that when I was speaking with the designer, I didn't saw that the parapet, instead of being straight, has to be a mission. I mean, you have to have this kind of typical half moon of the mission style, and so that naturally impacts in this design. Now, is this design appropriate? Okay, what you have to understand is what these things, the zoning district tries to say, was as in the case of the 11th Street. You have on the second page, you have the permissible building types. So that means that you can do an accessory building, a house, or a cottage court, or a corner commercial. That is not the case because it's not a corner. So the best approach here is to build like a house. The house can be any use you may want, but the building type has to be a house. Cannot be anything else. So with that in mind, when you go to what is a house on the building types, then this is, let us say, the conditions that you have to follow because you are going to build a building house. As a developer, you can choose any. But once you choose, you stay on the page. And the page says, okay, if you want a roof, how you can build it. Hip, gable, reverse gable, parapet, mission style only. Therefore, that ridge line that is shown cannot be in that way because it has to be mission if you want that kind of parapet. That I don't think that is too a mess or something. And then that's the reason why I'm showing all the styles, and I'm showing that the typical thing is the minimal traditional. Those are modern and are not contributing. So you would have Craftsman, and you would have, this is the classical minimal traditional. In this case, is a line. In other cases, as I explained before, you have protruded one wing, and the rest is flat, and then you have a gable. So those are the typical houses. Why I'm explaining this, because imagine that you want to build a store there, that is a second lot, is not a corner, nearby the path, the Belt and Trail, and this you don't get business here. But then you are stuck with this style. So you don't have business, and you don't have an adequate design for a house. That's why in most of the cases, you go into the typical, whatever, Craftsman, or minimal traditional, or any other, or the modern style that you can see, but you build it as a house, not as anything else. Because if that doesn't go through, you always can have that structure, and it's a good infill on the neighborhood.
I'm confused. Is this,
This is the proposal.
not a mission style roof right now?
No, because it has a ridge line for emission. Simply, you would have to add the half moons on top. And now the second question is, okay, what about these windows? They are designing this in order that during summertime and so you can raise it, such as the Rudy, how is it called? The Rudy's, the barbecue.
Yeah.
So you can raise it, and then you have an open space. And also, I mean, the brick, I'm not recommending the brick, I'm recommending the kind of, okay, it was a wood structure, build it with siding instead of brick. So here, to accommodate this design, if you like it, is, okay, you can do this kind of design, but follow the kind of pattern of wood siding or hard plank, and then resolve the ridge line on a kind of mission, because that's what the form-based.
But can you show me an example of what you're saying? Because I thought mission was a flat roof type thing with a parapet.
No, the mission, okay, the mission would be, do you remember the gas station that I showed at the beginning?
Well, I thought they were Art Deco.
Yeah, but they fake it with a mission style. This. Okay, that area that is enclosed with that little.
Oh, so you want it?
Yeah.
We call it the Alamo.
Yeah, but that's what the form-based code says. I'm opposed to that, but that's what the form-based code says.
Kind of opposed to that Alamo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the mission because we are not in San Antonio.
You want to speak?
Wait,
We would like guidance. Currently, we meeting with all zoning and with all the departments, and we thought we're in the process of pricing this. And then, Mr. Bella said we couldn't do brick. And then, so we did some quick renders of our current pricing set in order to get guidance from you as to, you know, because there's a lot of brick structures around.
Yeah.
So,
I like the brick.
and
Is there a motion to open public hearing?
So, second.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. All right. Identify yourself, please.
Juan Chapa, designer. And, like I said, we would like to keep on going with this design, but if you guys have some suggestions, we'll take them, but I don't know if we can go mission style parapet.
Well, I mean, okay. When I look at this and it has this line, what are we calling this? I thought this was like a mission style as opposed to like an Alamo style.
Oh, this would be modern.
Yeah.
This is more like a border brick. Okay. So, what is this building going to be?
Tea shop. And it's gonna be right at the Belden Trail.
What kind of shop?
Tea, like tea and coffee. And so they're gonna have a lot of elements with the community. The community gardens, they're gonna set it up there. They're working with trying to grow the trees and plants that are gonna be used here. So it's gonna be a
Okay, so
very,
this is on the Belden Trail?
yeah.
I like the border brick
Okay,
look.
you picked up and modernized the border brick, which is typical of downtown. I think that's pretty nice. I think all of us would think painted brick, stucco, those options would probably all be.
The brick looks more
Okay.
nicer.
Yeah.
I think that's the best option to go is the brick.
Okay,
Me too.
but,
A beige brick,
It's
not,
commercial, so
And we're still in the process where we can make some adjustments, but we want to make sure we don't price something that won't be buildable.
Yeah.
Is there a floor plan for this, proposed floor plan?
the render to try to do
Well,
the
it's
guidance.
just that, but I have the floor plans here.
So this is the second lot nearby the Belden Trail. So the area is residential. Yeah, the way to distinguish the building should be
I like the border brick.
kind of brick, yep.
Better than the painted look, because once you go painted, then they get into some colors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They say it's been painted before.
my point is, I think we're open. I think we're.
The brick, yeah.
Yeah, the form-based code allows brick. I was simply saying the same kind of, recommendation that is follow what it was there, but I mean, it's commercial. Many times we have used precisely that principle to turn it into a border brick building.
Your
So that's-
glass wall,
thank you,
there,
Fernando.
it doesn't move, right?
Yeah, those are garage doors.
Okay,
So
they-
the two on each side are garage doors, so
Oh,
on
okay.
a nice day, they'd be able to open up
Awesome.
most of it. And there's some elements that are inside, outside as well. And so this is a very preliminary rendering. We just wanted to get guidance from you guys.
It's kind of like going with an old fashioned gas station look.
I think so what I'm hearing here is that we all sort of like the general design and a little bit of a throwback to downtown with, you got a little bit of a design around the parapet. I mean,
would we want more? Would we want another layer of brick or?
no, I think a simpler form,
Okay,
so that it's not trying to copy a border, but it has that.
call back to the border
Yeah.
brick.
And I love the fact that you, on mild days like today, you could open up
Open it
your
up.
wall. That's awesome. Anyway, any further questions?
The
If
parking
not, I'll
will be,
entertain a motion
the
to
parking will
close
be on the
public
back.
hearing.
I do have one question. What size are you thinking this will be?
The building,
Uh-huh,
it's 1,500 square feet right now. It's not very big.
okay.
And
That's
it's,
nice.
like inside, I'm showing like, 8 tables, lounge area, a kitchen, 2 bathrooms. I mean,
Okay.
it's just
We
very,
need some light the whole 9 yards.
Is there a motion to close public hearing?
So moved. Second.
Second. Motion made, and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Chapa.
thank you.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
We don't, is it one?
It's just, his was just,
Presentation?
his, yeah, his was just
Okay,
comments.
so
Yeah.
no motion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no motion.
Okay.
Okay,
All
now,
right. Next item, Mr. Velez,
Okay,
tax
no, but-
exemptions.
But okay, you already voted, the same. Okay. So, the last time or you vote on Tony's property, but it was in red ink. So that's why I'm bringing again the same property in order that you can vote. These are additional properties that were on red on the
so
last.
are we, okay, so it is your recommendation that we pass A, pass B,
Yeah,
pass C?
yeah. It's exactly the same. A, B,
And-
well, in the case of B, board member Bailly should have to abstain. And that's the reason why I separate, even when it's only in one
Well,
point.
he has to abstain.
He has to abstain, yeah.
Okay,
And then the rest is exactly the same, C and D,
okay.
and the substantial rehab
And it is your recommendation to approve D
to approve, yeah, to approve
and E,
both, all of them,
F, all? Okay,
A to E, to F, sorry.
A to F.
okay. So I'm willing to make a motion to approve as proposed, item A, item B, oh, no.
Skip.
C, item A, item C, item D, item E, and item F.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Mr. Mercado, you're sticking around. Did you want to rehash what we've done? We tabled this, your item.
Do you want to reopen it?
Did you want to have further?
No, it was tabled.
No, it wasn't approved.
It was tabled.
Didn't we table it?
We tabled it.
Yeah.
It didn't get
Just
approved.
wanna-
Yeah, it wasn't approved. What I'm wondering is, do we need to, I can get Fernando and Larry and I to meet with, Mr. Velez and you folks, if you want to try to meet sometime in this coming week, when we're available to have more discussion. Right now, it's tabled.
You didn't get anything today.
You didn't get approval today.
Yes. But this is not an item for discussion right now. We can reopen the item.
Okay.
Could we finish?
Is there a motion to reopen that item?
Okay, is there a motion to reopen the item for discussion with Mr. Mercado?
I'll move.
Is there a second?
Reopen the item.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay.
That's why we're bringing this up again, so that we try to work out something and don't leave you with it just tabled.
And we're not trying to require you to pay large sums of money to designer, architect, or whoever. But we're concerned about the appearance of the building. And we thought it would be something worthwhile to enlarge the little canopies at the entrances. But you're saying it's going to cost you an arm and a leg to go back to the designer to make the changes. Can you step up to the microphone?
Mr. Mercado, he's an architect.
Yeah, I mean, so you understand, it's not, and it's not just, you guys, I mean, all this is, we have to base on the requirements from the city as well,
Yeah.
that we're following all the guidelines. Like, not only is that, it's money, it's time, and it seems like the first meeting, it wasn't brought up. It would have been brought up, as you saw, like, we would do everything that was asked of us. And it's just, the bank is pressuring me, I'm having to pay a lot of money, I don't have all the money in the world, I mean, if I did, I wouldn't care. And it's just so much money that's being brought onto me that I'm suffocating. And it seems like, now we want to bring up something different than the last time. Like, to me, I mean, I hope you can understand, that just seems
Mr.
unfair and
Mercado,
kind
we
of
did it
harsh.
your way because you got the entrances on the alley that was not.
And last time it was never discussed that the facade was not,
Well,
you
we
know,
didn't
they
see
didn't like
what
it.
it was gonna look like. We brought that concept up and we couldn't envision it until it was drawn.
Well,
But
if you
Mr.
pull up the old
Walker
one,
is
Mr.
offered to
Velez.
keep on discussing it with you to see how we could work it out so it doesn't take more time. And probably help you. I'd be willing to talk to Mr. Montemayor about his fees and to your architect about their fees on changing the canopy, which usually a canopy doesn't require having to redo the entire foundation. Just adding about 3 feet or 4 feet of porch, you know, for it to be,
Well, it's 'cause
your
it look-
architect, if they're charging you $5,000, you're getting heisted. If that's what it took to make those changes. We didn't change the floor plan. All we did was move doors and windows over. That doesn't change the foundation. Grade beams stay where they are, thicknesses stay where they are. Trying to work with you.
Yeah.
And
No,
get it done, but
the look was the same. It just got brought over. I mean, it looks exactly
that
the
didn't
same.
change the foundation.
Yeah, the look is exactly the same. And making it bigger seems more like a preference other than it actually, you know, following the city rules and everything, which is why it wasn't brought up the last time, that the width of it was never an issue. Go ahead, sorry.
Here's a thought, so that we don't hold you up before anymore. Occasionally, we have made decisions in which we have entrusted a final decision either to Mr. Velez or maybe this small subcommittee of our group, so that maybe we could just meet with you and then maybe everybody would say, whatever we agree to will work. Is that, I don't want to speak out of.
No, I don't think,
You won't go for that?
I mean,
Okay.
I understand Mr. Mercado not wanting to spend extra money. What you have to understand, Mr. Mercado, is our job is to make sure that things look presentable and nice and fit into the neighborhood. That is our job, and that's what we're here to do. So I'm very sorry. I feel like we were very amenable to doing it your way the last time. This time, there is an aesthetic question. It doesn't look right. Look at it. It does not look right. And that is what the problem is. So it does not look right.
Okay, but I'm gonna persist with my thought about not holding them up anymore and coming up with a consensus that it doesn't make them wait another whole session.
I don't think that's it isn't his time. It's not the time. He's envisioning he's spending $5,000 again to get a new canopy, an extension of a roof and a little bit
No,
more.
But we're
concrete.
thinking though, that the decision might be simpler than a whole scale redrawing. And
Well, I mean, okay, if you think that can happen, I will go along with it.
Podría hablar yo quisiera a ver si alguien de ustedes me entiende español.
Sí,
Yo
sí.
entiendo español para poderles decir. Yo creo que es una comisión bastante edad, ¿verdad? Bueno, ya tienen bastante edad, como que se presentaron dos, el A y el B, entonces ustedes propusieron o definieron, dijeron, ese es el que queremos. Se discutió de esta manera u otra. Lo último que dijeron, que querían una cerca, de acuerdo, se le pone una cerca. Pues nosotros estamos en la mejor disposición de trabajar. Entonces, cuando usted dijo que estaba de acuerdo porque necesitaba hacerlo ya, ¿por qué? Pues porque el banco, porque los intereses, porque se necesita hacer. O sea, ¿de qué se trata? O sea, si tienen un lote baldío que está muy feo, estaba muy feo, pues estamos cortando legal, queremos embellecer la ciudad para poder que haya ingresos, que haya dinero que entre para la ciudad, además para los trabajadores y todo. O sea, yo no sé si no estamos proponiendo algo muy feo. O sea, no está feo, está al contrario. Para la realidad que hay ahí, yo no estoy de acuerdo. Te he estado diciendo, dime de qué manera tú me propones para poderlo hacer, ¿verdad? Trabajar juntos.
Señor Mercado.
Yo no sé. En todos tienes tú prueba, no sé qué es el problema que sea conmigo personal, o sea, o con todo el mundo, eres tú la única que estás en desacuerdo. Pero si ya estás bastante grandecita, como para que una vez digan una cosa, la siguiente vez quieres. ¿Qué pasa?
Señor.
Existe que existen estas medidas. Entonces, ahora dice que no, una vez que claro que sí. Mira, no, esa es la manera que es para que ustedes amablemente me hagan el favor. Por favor.
Señor Mercado.
Hizo como ustedes lo aprobaron, con excepción de la cerca. ¿De qué se trata? Eso es.
Señor Mercado,
A ver,
no tengo nada en contra de usted ni a su hijo. Yo tengo responsabilidad aquí, en este consejo, que tiene que ser representante de la historia de Brunswick y tiene que combinar con la vecindad.
está combinado. De otra manera, y por ¿de qué se trata?
Señor Mercado,
Sí, y
pues se supone que ustedes el señor propone
señor Mercado,
el mismo pitch que tiene un pitch. Si yo lo hago más ancho, se va a ver ustedes la regla de la ciudad dice que se tiene que la regla quieren convertirlo, ¿qué quieren convertirlo en qué? En que todo el mundo vaya a sentarse a tomar café, ¿no? No puede ser. Obviamente, que no se ve, se ve eso. O sea, por favor, yo estoy de acuerdo en pintar el color que me preocupa. Yo estoy de acuerdo en hacerlo. Pero si no es por favor.
señor Mercado, Juan es el empleado de la ciudad. Nosotros somos consejo, el consejo. Y por eso tiene que ser que nosotros estamos de acuerdo.
Y por eso les estoy diciendo. Donde está todo escrito, donde ustedes propusieron algo. Donde ustedes dijeron, esto nomás con que tú lo hagas de esta manera y usted le ponga la cerca, estamos de acuerdo. ¿Cierto o falso, señor?
Lo hicimos como quería su hijo la vez
Pero
pasada.
ustedes lo propusieron, ustedes dijeron del A y el B, ok, de acuerdo, vámonos
No,
con el A.
él quiso como lo está aprobado. Lo que sí se cambió es cómo se ve al lado que va a ser de la calle.
Y se hizo.
Y se ve,
pero eran ideas que no hemos visto dibujado. Era sugerencia. No, la vez pasada cuando dijimos mover la entrada al otro lado, no lo vimos.
De las dos formas.
Lo movieron, pero cuando sugerimos, no sabemos exactamente cómo se iba a ver porque no estaba en escrito. Ya que lo pusieron en escrito, pedimos, ¿sabes qué? A que se vea mejor si haces este cambio. Muchas veces los que están presentando dicen, están disponibles de hacer ese cambio y decimos, si están de acuerdo, lo podemos aprobar sabiendo que lo van a presentar de nuevo a Juan y no tienen que regresar al siguiente mes, pero no querían hacer eso. Entonces no nos dieron opción. No, no era la única cosa. Hemos tratado de darte opción, hemos tratado de trabajar contigo.
Yo nomás le
Nadie
pido
la hizo.
que me digan, ¿qué es la diferencia de 5 pies de lo que es la entrada? Que la puerta tiene 3 pies, este tiene 5, comparado con 40, que de qué ancho lo quieren.
Lo mismo que dices de todas las otras casas que se ven como mugre o la palabra. Sí, es porque no había gente interesado en cómo se ven. Y por eso estamos tratando de prevenir eso. Sí.
Y
por
le
eso
agradecemos.
y no me dejas.
Pero hay reglas y tiene usted convencer este consejo, esta mesa directiva de que quiere poner. No estamos convencidos.
But isn't it fair to say that by putting these units there, it's gonna make it look better, period, compared to what's behind it? And if that's the case,
You have
How
to
is
fit
something- how
a
is-
style.
how is something so simple gonna alter the appearance to say, you know what, it's absolutely disgusting just because it's 5 feet instead of 6 feet?
You know what, Mr. Mercado?
Nobody used the word disgusting. We didn't use that word. We're
Sir,
trying to make it better.
would you be willing to sit down with some committee to discuss and work this out? Where we can look at the plans and look at everything and just come,
And they would not hold you up another week,
and we won't
but,
hold you up another month.
but-
We can do it.
but the way it is now, we're not having a meeting for another month. So this is the option for you. They are very graciously to say they'll give extra time, which they're volunteers, no one's paying them. We're all doing this for the good of the community. And we are the board that needs to be convinced. And I'm sorry that you are feeling indisposed. But the reality is, for a long time, there were no standards in this community, and this community looks like there were not standards. And we are trying to keep up standards and improve standards, and so that it looks really nice. And you may think that there isn't much of a difference, but there is a difference. And I understand that you would not, I understand that not to everybody is that difference important. But to this board, that is the difference, and that is what we're here for, to make that difference. We're here to bring things up to a certain standard. That is our job. That is our job. I honestly feel I'm doing my job. I am not trying to be abusive or not be kind-hearted. I am trying to do the job to which I was put on this board to do. That is literally all I'm interested in. I'm interested in bringing up the level of what is here so that it is reflective of what we want this community to be. And I understand that you are not in agreement that this does not look the same as this, and you say, what's the difference? I understand that. I understand that that is your point of view. And I understand why you have that point of view, but that is not this committee's job. This committee's job is to say, no, we need to lift the standards. It needs to reflect the community. That is what we're here to do.
Mr. Mercado, one of the questions, you're a businessman. I'm a businessman in the community. I have my own business. We're used to doing things a certain way. But this commission here was given a set of rules. We even have legal service and everything to make sure that we stay within that parameter. So it's not that we're trying to be abusive or anything. I want you to understand that we're willing to work with you. But our hands are tied. The city commission gave us set parameters. We have to follow certain rules that are written in the city charter, bylaws and everything that we have to follow. And I know it sounds like, oh, we're just being heartless bureaucrats. I understand where you're coming from. It took me 7 months to fight city to open up my business. I understand your frustration, but please also, I mean, once I sat back here, I understand now that there are certain rules that we have to follow.
Yeah, and I mean, we're trying, and we're abiding by those
And-
rules by the
and we're-
city as well. This
and-
is subjective though.
And we're going to, and we're going there. We have 3 gentlemen who are willing to sit with you and discuss it with Mr. Velez and come to an understanding.
And
I mean,
how do we go about that?
Huh?
How do we go about that? Do I need
Mr. Walker?
We would make a motion to do that.
We were right on the edge of figuring out how to cut the slack. We didn't need to reopen the issue. We didn't, see, we're trying as hard as we can to leave the issue open and solve it. I mean, we could have just walked away, well, it's tabled.
And you wouldn't see us for another
We
month.
didn't, and we reopened it, and we were even considering ways of getting your decision done without waiting.
And it has nothing to do
Even
with
that
you.
decision ended up being to your benefit, what you want. We're not saying we absolutely won't, we're just saying we need to look at it a little bit.
We've approved items on the condition if the developer is open to making the change we suggested, then the change is presented to Juan and Juan approves it. And we trust Juan is going to do, he knows what we're asking for and you don't have to come back another week.
So,
But you mentioned you weren't open to that change, so
So you're not
we
getting
didn't
that.
have any options. We didn't have anything we could work with to approve.
I mean, if you're willing to sit with us and discuss it and work on it, we will work with you. We don't want to I don't want to come back in January and discuss this. I want you to start getting ready with your work and getting ready and enjoy the holidays, enjoy Christmas with your family, have a good time. You know, enjoy your dad. I don't have my dad. Enjoy your dad right now.
But
But you need to meet with us. You need to meet with us.
and you need, and you need to understand that your point of view is not the point of view of this committee. That's the difference.
And how do we go about setting up that meeting?
Mr. Walker?
Well, I would ask Mr. Velez to find out when you're available. I'm going to be out of town this coming Friday, but I could meet Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. And I don't know what your schedule is or
The day you
what
told me.
their schedule are. But we're trying to find one day where we could meet for 30 minutes or an hour or whatever. I'll just tell you on a personal basis,
Probably just take a
Mr.
sketch.
Roth has been trying for a year to get a permit. A year, and he's on this council. You would think he would have some leverage with the city to be able to get the permit sooner. And we're still waiting a year on the San Fernando building. So
Sketch of just a larger gable, give it to Juan, if they submit the plans that show.
Yeah.
It's probably
Why
all
don't we
it takes.
do it that way? We've done it that way in the past. Yeah? You just come to an agreement right here that in theory, what would we accept as a minimum? And do what we usually do, which is then
Give it
give
to
it to Juan to come up with a conclusion. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, we have 2 more items. We still have another item. But if, are we open to just to do a suggestion sketch, give it to
Yeah,
Juan if
I'm
they're
open to
they're in
that.
agreement?
yeah, I'm open to that.
I would like someone else there too, at that meeting.
You would like what?
I would like somebody from this committee at the.
Well,
meeting.
when Juan gets it, he can distribute it to us. Juan's choice.
Okay,
Can I suggest it?
I would be comfortable to sit down and then give the authorization to the members that sit down with them to give
Well,
a final say. on
But
it.
what's gonna happen to the sit down? The sit down is, we're gonna suggest this. Might as well already suggest it.
Well,
And have
suggest
go
it,
into
but
there.
meet up and confer that it's done.
Because we're gonna go against if we get too many of us together to discuss this.
Oh, true,
We're having
true.
a meeting that is enlarged.
Yeah, thank you for
be a
the
quorum.
quorum.
So that's the reason
We'll
for the
authorize
reduced
Mr. Bennett.
size.
Well,
What do you want to do, folks?
So the alternative is to go to take.
there is
them to
there is a suggestion of what the roof looks like. That is the suggestion. if that suggestion is agreeable and you have a meeting and that happens, I will go with it. Otherwise, it's tabled till next month. So it's up to the mercados to decide if they're going to want to listen to this, and if they're not, then it's tabled.
So basically we come down to a superficial change, not a big change, but just a superficial change on just making that front porch look a little bit wider and not so little and constrained. I realize that, I mean, that's where we are.
Okay, do you want that at the base as well? Just roof? Is there any suggestion that you're saying, you mentioned making it bigger? On, just so I can understand how to go about proposing this to the architect.
You know, you need 5 minutes after this.
Yeah.
Fernando.
Pull up the elevation.
Pull up the elevation and we can just come to a.
Déjenme proponerles algo, a ver qué les parece.
Okay.
Si ustedes lo que quieren es que el centro, la entrada, sea más ancha,
Not necessarily. Go back to the.
que sea más ancha, de que si son 5 pies, hacerse más ancha. Puedo hacerlo para que no me afecte estructuralmente. Estructuralmente, para que no me afecte y no tener que hablar con el ingeniero para hacer cambios, es muy probable, y se lo estoy diciendo por la experiencia, no como contratista, sino como carpintero. Tengo 38 años de servicio como carpintero, de experiencia. Entonces, es muy probable que esto no me afecte en la cimentación. Entonces, si ustedes me permiten, yo puedo hacer el cambio, esto, y sí le digo al arquitecto que me haga el cambio nada más en lo que es la pura fachada, donde no me afecte estructuralmente. Y de esa manera, la razón es porque la ciudad ya tiene el plano revisando, me van a detener más tiempo y más tiempo y más tiempo para todos los cambios. ¿Por qué? Porque la ciudad me dice, son 10 días después de que tú sometas todo. Y son otros 10 días después de que sometas todo. O sea, si ustedes me ayudan en eso, yo les prometo, pero les pido de favor, de que me digan, sí, hazlo más ancho. Y obviamente, si no lo hago, pues no me pasan la inspección y todo. Se acabó.
But how are we guaranteeing that that's going to happen?
Okay, so Juan, could you help expedite, if we come to an agreement, can you help expedite the review if the only change is the gable end of the porch?
Right.
Because they're bringing up a valid point, as I have suffered under, which is each change requires a review, which requires a waiting period, which requires this, which requires.
Yeah, but he should be able to, if we approve with this conditional change, he can get his permit and this would just be a change.
That's what
He can get started, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so then how wide is the change?
Lo que ustedes me digan.
Okay, how
Déjenme
wonderful.
decirles, solamente déjenme decirles. Entre más ancho lo haga, no significa que el pico sea mayor. Les voy a decir por qué. Porque la altura del techo es 8 pulgadas por cada 12 en altura, que le llamamos pitch. Es 8 en 12, está muy prolongado. Si este está de 8 en 12, todo se tiene que hacer de 8 en 12, porque está simétricamente y está si no lo sabes, te lo estoy explicando porque así debe de ser. Entonces, todo tiene con escala. Entonces, no puedo hacer este de 8 y este que sea un 12, por supuesto que no. Entonces, nomás para que sepan que va a bajar.
Será mejor. Ya estamos proponiendo algo que te ayuda. Será mejor que nada más escuchas un poco más y a que podamos aprobar lo que quieres para que puedas empezar.
But is he saying this pitch has to be the pitch, what he widens it, it has to go up?
No.
Okay,
Uh,
let's,
yeah.
see, we're
Yeah.
going backwards because we're disagreeing on some of these elements. To me, this is just sitting on an existing roof. This is just a gable sitting on an existing roof. It's not a huge, giant.
It could be
structural
6 and
change
12, it
to
could
the
be 8 and
pyramid.
12, it could be anything
And
you want.
so,
But,
we're
but,
going backwards.
but
in the discussion.
but he's worried that we're making it too high a pitch?
No.
Remember the pitches in the top is the same pitch that they do in the bottom.
Exactly.
Which is for every.
But
age.
what
Not
I'm not
necessarily.
understanding what the
That's a-
concern is.
That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah,
I don't, honestly, I don't think it has anything, he's
Okay.
making it worse.
That's what he was saying,
Let's
that
stop-
if he's keeping
let's
it
stop
12.
Let's stop.
Si
let's
yo lo
make it
hago-
T. Let's make it T. Stop for a minute. We're going to go further backwards if we continue this discussion like this. Why don't you let us work it out and then try to work it out so it does not hold you up and come to that solution? Because if we keep going back and forth, we're going to end up with it. Sorry, it's tabled.
Yeah, so what he's saying is, I mean, if you guys give us a distance, a range that you want to work with, then we can actually get it. And he's saying he can actually manage to make it to where it doesn't affect the structural nor the cement.
Yes,
We can submit
that's
that to
all,
Mr.
that's
Bell.
all we've been trying to do.
You're
That's,
completely in agreement
that's,
with that.
that's all our suggestions
Yes.
were from the beginning. That's what we've been trying to do. To say that it's structural, none of us have been,
So could you remind me, the project está subido en Acela, no? Is already in Acela or not? Okay, so if you do any kind of change, then you probably have to, all of us have to close the system so you can upload the new drawing on Acela. That's going to happen. So you're going to lose some days because of that, because you need to close, we need to close, and then, so you can upload again the system. So what's the next step then? What is the next step of the Historic Preservation
to
Commission?
me, I guess, right?
Fernando, Calvin,
It's okay with
To me.
us.
What's that?
okay, what is the next step? Because I don't know what are we going to,
Gladly, set up a meeting.
Yeah,
okay, this meeting would be with the Architectural Review Committee or what?
A subcommittee.
Legal representative over there, our meeting, if we meet as a subset, we can't be more than how many of us without breaking the meeting law?
I believe three would be fine.
It could be
Yeah,
for-
three.
Three of us.
The three appointed, it were, Larry,
Fernando,
Calvin, and
Larry,
Rick.
and Calvin are on that subcommittee.
Fernando, Larry, and me.
Okay,
oh,
so
Fernando, Larry, and you, all right.
we'll figure it out.
So then, okay, you resolve the issue. It has to come back to the HPC for the rest of the board members. It's going to be a kind of, Lina, you have to help me with this. It's
I can't.
a kind of suggestion that it's already go for approval and then simply the Historic Preservation Commission would be, how do you say, approve and ratify? Or it has to return back to the Historic Preservation.
Approved subject to those three individuals' approval.
And then simply the Historic Preservation Commission will ratify so they can move forward, no?
You can structure the motion like that it's approved and they can move forward once those three individuals have approved the plan.
And we've done that in the past.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, we did it in the past. Riva,
Okay.
you're fine with that?
I will be fine with that.
All right.
Okay,
Se lo
Okay.
explico,
Then-
pero-
then I would like to make a motion that the three of us, the review committee, meet with you at your earliest convenience, we all can, and that our agreement, if we come to one, then can move forward without having to come back to this committee.
Is that a
work for
motion?
you? Okay,
I second.
Whatever
Make a motion.
time you guys say.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I made it.
All
I
right.
made it.
Motion made by Mr. Loff. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, we're trying.
still have, an agenda item to approve,
That's what he said.
which I can't approve.
I don't know.
1, 2, 3, I can't say right. To approve item, to approve, B. Making sure it gets done.
Yes.
Came for that one too.
Who do I need to get in contact for that meeting?
Do what?
One, right?
Because I'm,
Everything goes through Juan,
okay.
okay?
Just, I'm available whenever you guys say.
Okay. I thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, officially, we need to close public hearing on this item. Hello?
Okay, yeah, so you have voted on this, we have to retake the tax exemption.
Oh, hold on.
Motion to close public hearing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed,
Okay.
motion passes.
A
Okay.
motion then to have the three people meet, work with Juan, and then,
We
if
have to
reach
do
an
that
accord-
again?
What?
Didn't we already just
No,
do
we're-
that?
No, we
No,
have to
did
do
it out of turn.
We did it out of turn.
Oh,
Okay, go back to your motion.
Motion for the review committee to meet with the people in question, with Juan Velez, and if we reach a conclusion, then the project can move forward.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Mr. Velez?
wait, we still need to do 9?
What?
Don't we need to do item 9?
Yes, we still have
Well,
to
actually-
vote on the tax exemptions
Actually, we have to go to item B.
after B, and then the non-compliant, please. Okay, so item B is 123 Acacia Drive. So
Okay.
Very nice.
who does the motion and?
I make a motion that we approve item B.
It is for rent.
I'll second the motion to approve
Thank
item
you.
B.
Okay, there's a motion made, second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
You just have to say,
You have to say.
Okay, Fernando abstained. Next item. Next item.
9.
9.
How many more?
9. 9, all right. I'm trying to look to my recommendation. I think that is to, okay. I gave a limit of December the 2nd for the, to show the invoices and so, as requested also by the Cameron County. It didn't happen. We have right now kind of 35 properties, but I received 2 days ago 21 certified letters. They were returned to the sender. So what I'm going to do is, instead of sending them through certified mail, I'm going to send it through regular mail, so then the mail will achieve. In any case, what I'm suggesting is to block properties that are listed as non-compliant properties. However, property owners who submit expenditures before the staff upload the final list in a thing that is called Civic Clerk, if they do that before I upload the final presentation for the City Commission, then those properties can change the status. Okay, so we give them kind of 1 or 2 weeks more. So if they show up with the corresponding invoices, simply the status will change from non-compliant to compliant.
So if all of the ones we read are the ones that have the returned certified mail?
That's right. So those that have signed the certified letter, you would have showing in green in the page 5. So for example, Cleta Friedman, that is owned by Cesar de Leon, he already received the letter and he signed it. And I don't have any kind of invoice there. So if that happens, well, then that
Okay,
property will
so
be
if
blocked.
they're in the green, the certified letter was
Yes, and the
signed.
purple are those letters that have been returned to me. So then I will send it again, but through a regular mail, because probably that's because the property owner leaves early in the morning and does not return until the afternoon. So to be sure, let us say that the last bullet will be, all right, let us send it through regular mail. That doesn't mean that right now probably we may be covered with the certified mail, but to be a little bit more fair, okay, is just send those letters that have returned to me and resend them.
Okay, so G is non-compliant properties.
Yes,
And
so
what's the difference between G?
all of them,
and H?
no, is that simply, okay, G is for state and national markers.
Oh, okay.
H is for primary, I is for substantial rehab, and D finally, and 10, sorry, are those that the time has been fulfilled. Because the deadline has, they expired. They were 5 years and they have to go.
Okay, I is expired.
You expired, you know you're here. You expired. Okay, so G,
So a non-compliant, substantial real, since, okay, so explain to me what I is.
okay, 10 is, we gave
No,
2020.
I, what is I?
I
Non-compliant
is-
property,
is-
substantial rehabilitated property.
Yeah, it's a substantial rehab property since 2024. That supposedly was the ending is 2028. I visit this house and it's in perfect condition, but the owner hasn't sent me the invoices. If you see the address is in purple, meaning that she hasn't received the certified letter. So this
Hasn't
would be
received the
one of
letter.
them
Okay.
that I already spoke also with his brother, and he's going to reach to her as well. So
Okay.
that's the condition of I.
Okay, and
it's-
then 10, what is 10?
10 are the properties that were granted on 2019 to have tax exemptions on 2020 until 2024. Therefore, 2025, it's more than 5 years, they cannot be on the tax exemption list. That always happens with properties that are under substantial rehab. It's only a time limit of 5 years. So
Okay.
those properties have to go.
Okay, is there a motion?
Okay, I move to accept item 9G, 9H, 9I,
Mhm.
and 10.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes.
Adjourn, please.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion
Motion.
to adjourn.
Motion, second,
Is there- Never dies for a second. Is there a second?
second.
Motion made, second. Further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Stay here and have some fraction.
Okay,
Next time he's gonna serve dinner also.
now, here it is. No, I
The
haven't.
minutes?
Did you call security?
Who called security? Hey, that was like,
Like, everything's back.
actually, I thought you were
They
gonna
didn't- not
have to
everybody
call
signed.
EMS.